Creatine is one of the most misunderstood and controversial supplements.
Creatine is a pretty heavily debated supplement.
It's one of the most researched, supplements out there.
There's like underlying risks
before it becomes detrimental.
Hair loss, damage to your organs, like it changed them completely.
But that's completely untrue.
I was told creatine had a lot of benefits like building muscle, improving brain function, and your performance in the gym. But the internet is filled with so many scary headlines about the negative effects of creatine. The two main ones being hair loss and kidney and liver damage. And with the rise of social media and specifically fitness social media, there has been so much conflicting information from people. Everyone from your average gym bro who loves taking creatine for building muscle to professionals who warn against the dangers of it. So I set out to find the truth. So today I'm going to be going on a journey to find out what taking creatine really does, if these headlines surrounding it are really even true, and find out once and for all if you should be taking creatine. And plus I've been taking it for the past few years, so I just want to make sure what I know is correct. To find out the answer, I'm going to talk to a bunch of people. Gym rats, powerlifters, bodybuilders, and even fitness influencers to see what they know about creatine. Then we're going to go directly to the source, the people who sell it. We're going to visit some of the most popular supplement stores and ask them what their thoughts are. And then we're going to do a deep dive into the research to find out what creatine really does and the truths and myths behind all of it so that we can have our answer once and for all. So let's go. Come on, pick up, man. Pick up, man. Hey, what's up?
I called my friend Drew, my girlfriend Sally, and my friend, actually he could just introduce himself.
You are here with Elijah, the Incredible Kim.
To get an understanding of what the average person thinks about creatine.
Basically, I want to ask you about the supplement creatine. What are some of the negative things you've heard about it?
Yeah, I did hear that it could cause hair loss or like your hairline receding a bit.
Receding hairline. We don't like that.
No, not really.
I've never heard it that you lose hair. However, I've heard that you get some sort of kidney something, but that's completely untrue.
How do you know that?
I have great kidneys.
And you've taken it for a long time.
I have really good liver.
So your proof is that it's from your own experience.
Yeah, personal anecdote.
Where did you hear this from?
I think I heard friend when he was first introducing it to me. He was like, "Oh yeah, it could cause this." Then I looked it up and it was supported through my Google search.
To be honest, I feel like you're a pretty hairy dude, so I don't think hair loss is gonna be even a problem for you. Like, you got a beard, you got hair everywhere, bro.
Hopefully not.
I saw on TikTok people talking about how good creatine was. I also got videos about the dangers of creatine as well. They just talked about hair loss and damage to your organs, important ones like your liver and stuff like that.
My mom thought that it was steroids, and then I was like, "No, mom, this is not steroids."
She wants her son to be healthy.
Exactly.
But you took it anyway.
I took it anyways because the gains is the only thing that matters.
I think it's very safe to assume that a lot of people disagree on what creatine does and its side effects. So I called up a few of my friends who are just a little bit more experienced when it comes to working out and got some better answers. What does creatine do?
So creatine, first off, it's used by our bodies to make energy for our muscles.
What a lot of people don't know is that creatine is a naturally occurring substance. You can actually find it in meats, in fish.
Do you take creatine? And if so, why?
I actually don't personally take creatine, not because I don't think it's effective, but I just don't take a lot of supplements in general, other than occasionally protein powder.
Yes, I do. Just having that extra energy makes all the difference in the world.
I've been taking creatine since about 2012, and I've definitely benefited from it in terms of strength and recovery, just been able to rebound a lot faster after my workouts.
Would you recommend others take creatine?
Yes, I would absolutely recommend it, especially if you're looking to perform better and be healthier. It's just gonna help your workouts that much more.
From what I've seen, from what I've heard, and if I had to recommend a supplement, I probably would choose creatine.
Are there any negative side effects to taking creatine?
So I've never actually heard of any negative side effects.
I could say that I haven't had any adverse side effects. I've been taking regular blood tests, checking out my kidneys, which are fine. No noticeable hair loss either, as a lot of people like to say is a, con to taking creatine.
After talking to these guys, I still didn't have the answer I wanted. A clear, direct fact on what creatine is, does, and its side effects. So I called up a supplement store.
Hi, I had a quick question. And I was wondering, what's your guys' policy at your store?
You can find the cooperative store, and maybe you can go there. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not allowed at your store?
Yeah, no.
Okay, no worries. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. This is literally the 6th supplement store that I've called today. Yes, we're on our way to a supplement shop. Because we called ahead. Half of them were really like open to it, and then they had to go talk to management, and it was all no's. But we had one that was super down. We're gonna be talking to the store manager that I guess you could say is the closest thing to a professional when it comes to supplements. He's a pretty nice dude who was just genuinely interested in spreading more information about creatine. Who better to go and ask than like the people who sell it themselves? We're going to the supplement store. Hey, what's up? Is your name? I'm Joe, man. Nice to meet you, man. Did you have like 5 minutes real quick?
Yeah.
If you don't need to help out anyone else. All right, perfect.
So let's ask him about his thoughts on creatine.
In terms of creatine, right? You personally, do you take creatine?
Yes, I do.
Okay, for sure. And how long have you been taking for?
On and off since high school.
Gotcha.
Since I was about 19. Yeah, it's helped me maintain lean muscle.
If I was someone that was walking into the store and I had no idea what creatine was, why should someone take creatine?
If you are looking to gain muscle or you're looking just for an athletic edge.
So the one big question I have was, there's a lot of like myths about it. The most common ones are hair loss, as well as liver or kidney damage. I was wondering, have you ever heard of those kind of things before?
I have. The
Right.
most common one I typically hear of is the kidney failure or damage. If you're eating a healthy diet and you're still supplementing, exercising, and drinking a lot of water, that kind of thing shouldn't happen. I know a lot of parents get in like kind of worried about it with their kids and stuff, and I was like, it's not.
You know, parents,
It's not gonna
my mom hated it, my friends' moms hated it.
So, after talking to a bunch of people, one thing is very clear. It seems like everyone's understanding of what creatine is and does is from their own personal experience, whether good or bad. Almost everyone brought up that they don't actually know whether or not creatine did anything when they started taking it. I honestly still felt like there were gaps of information that were crucial that was missing, especially when it came to the negative side effects of creatine. So, you and I are going to do a deep dive into the research to get an answer once and for all. Oh, and by the way, I'd really appreciate it if you would go down and subscribe and turn on those post notifications as well. Even though I post daily YouTube shorts, this is my first full-length YouTube video that's going out. And honestly, it's taken a lot more time than I thought it would, but I wanted it to be something I was proud of. So, you know, if you like it, follow, like, comment, and let me know what I should do next. So, what is creatine? So it's formed by a reaction from 3 different amino acids: arginine, glycine, and methionine, which you don't really need to know about, and creatine stored in your muscles. We actually get creatine naturally through the foods that we eat, like red meats and seafood. But just to put it into perspective, the recommended amount of creatine we should take daily is 5 grams. But guess how much creatine you get from eating this pound of steak? Just 1 gram. So you need to eat 5 of these steaks every single day, which most people won't be doing, hence why creatine supplements were created. Think about it like the daily vitamins you take. For example, some of us supplement with omega-3 even though it's in fish, and vitamin D even though we get it from the sun. For creatine to work, you need to reach what's called creatine saturation, which basically means eat 5 grams per day every day for about a month. Keep consuming the daily 5 grams after that, and you'll stay in saturation and reap the benefits of it. So now that we know what it is, how much we need, and that it isn't some kind of steroid and is naturally found in our bodies and in the food that we eat, what does it exactly do, and why should you want to possibly take it? Because if we're being honest, that's what you're here for. It basically lets you build more muscle. Let me explain. Think back to high school freshman year when you learned about the word ATP. If you don't remember, ATP is what stores energy, also called adenosine triphosphate, because it's 1 adenosine and 3 phosphates. When ATP loses a phosphate, it gives off energy, which we then use to work out or run or do anything really. But after we use it, the ATP actually turns into ADP because it loses that extra phosphate. Adenosine diphosphate, di meaning 2. And what creatine does, whether you consume it or it's produced in the body, is it binds with a phosphate, and it actually gives its phosphate to ADP, making it ATP again, and thus giving you more energy you didn't already have. I know I use a lot of sciencey terms, but it's pretty simple, right? It gives you a little bit more energy so that you could train a little harder, perform a little better, and therefore build some more muscle. Okay, that's sick, right? Sounds great. But one thing I've always learned is nothing is ever truly perfect. And in this case, creatine is known to have a lot of scary side effects. And first is hair loss. So where does this idea come from? Well, it comes from an old study where male college rugby players took 25 grams of creatine every day for a week, and then 5 grams of creatine for the next 2 weeks. And the study actually showed some pretty alarming data. The hormone DHT, which is linked to hair loss, increased. And so many concluded that since creatine causes an increase in DHT, which is linked to hair loss, then creatine must also cause hair loss. But there's a really big issue with this conclusion. That increase was actually pretty small and considered somewhat normal. It's also known that working out naturally causes an increase in DHT. So either by that logic, most gym goers should be going bald, or this finding is just not that credible. Don't worry, because there's no evidence that suggests that creatine will lead to hair loss. But what about the other big concern that a lot of people mentioned? Kidney and liver damage. Honestly, it's really straightforward. Study after study after study showed that there is no kidney damage when consuming at recommended servings in healthy people, and no credible story has yet come out to disprove this. So where this myth comes from is a bunch of misinformation and a misunderstanding of how creatine metabolism works. I didn't know either, so I can't blame them. So after all this work, we finally have our answer. If you want the benefits of creatine to build muscle faster, take it. It is one of the most researched supplements out there and is very safe. But word of mouth and a few scary headlines made us all very skeptical. So if you're gonna take it, out of all the types of creatine, take creatine monohydrate. It's the one that's gone through the most research and is known to be the most tested. Take those recommended 5 grams of creatine per day for 30 days to reap the benefits of it, because then you'll reach creatine saturation. And then you could pretty much take it for however long you want to continue getting those benefits. So the next time you're eating your 5 grams of creatine and getting in a good workout, remember who put you on. I also just wanted to say I am a sponsored athlete for my protein, but that pretty much in no way biased the way this video went. So if you want to get creatine from your favorite brand or from my protein, just thought I'd let you guys know.